Christian mindfulness offers us a whole new way of being in the world so that we don't just blindly sleepwalk through our lives, unaware of what God is up to, but we can learn to have eyes to see and ears to hear the way God meets us in every moment of every day, so that our lives can be abundant life that Jesus invites us to. So I hope you'll join us for this conversation.
I'm part of the first Asia Pacific consultation on marketplace mindfulness. My name is the Reverend Shaun Lambert. I'm a Baptist minister, psychotherapist, and mindfulness researcher. I've been doing a PhD on mindfulness of God for the last 7 years. And Dr. Charles just asked me to sort of speak to you about why you should come as a Christian to this consultation, because there are suspicions about mindfulness for some in the Christian world. And the first thing we need to realize is that mindfulness is a God-given capacity for attention and awareness. It's part of our created being, and that's what mindfulness is. It's being attentive and aware. And because we have that capacity given to us by God, we can enhance it through spiritual practices. But there are a couple of other reasons as well. It's not just that it's biblical or it's there in our historical tradition, but church historian Dr. Richard Lovelace talks about the sanctification gap in the church. We're supposed to look like Jesus, but we don't. And yet in the early church, the hallmark of holiness, of sanctity, was watchfulness, which is another form of Christian mindfulness. And people were taught to be watchful, but that has dropped out of the 21st century. And because of that sanctification gap, we have credibility gap in the world. So we need desperately to be transformed by these gospel spiritual practices. So I'm looking forward to working with many other people and being part of this consultation, and I hope to see you there. So take care and God bless.
Now, we are reading the Bible as a religious book only. Now, after listening to me and to the others, and as you develop a Christian mindfulness in the marketplace, you would begin to discover that the Bible is not a religious book, it is a reality book. Exodus chapter 19, verses 5 and 6. I want you to note this is God speaking to his people through Moses at the foot of Mount Sinai. And please remember, this is before God separates the tribe of Levi for tabernacle duty, before God sets apart the family of Aaron for priestly duty. What does God tell all his people, the members of all the 12 tribes? He says, you shall be a royal priesthood. You will be kings and queens, priests and priestesses. Now that's very interesting. As king and queen, we are representing God to creation. Remember what I said about vice regents? We are going to be stewards of God's creation on his behalf. We are going to look after God's creation as if this work is itself a calling from God. But then, because the world is fallen, we are also going to be priests and priestesses, praying to God on behalf of creation, on behalf of our fellow workers in the workplace, so that we together that can bring the best output for our company, for our organization, for our hospitals, or for our streets, as I mentioned the example of the sweeper women. So I want you to notice that it becomes a very important aspect of our understanding of the workplace. But in today's context of APCOMM coming up end of April, beginning of May of this year, I want to tell you that we are cleansed so that we could be God's people in the workplace, representing God in his creativity in our workplace.
Jesus is Emmanuel, God with us. But often we're not living in that reality moment by moment in our lives. So it's really important that we reconnect our awareness with the reality of God with us, Christ with us, Christ in us through the Holy Spirit. And that was a big part of my early journey, just beginning to connect my awareness to the reality of what the Bible teaches us, that through faith in Jesus, God really is with us, and he is in us by the Holy Spirit. And he wants to take us on a journey into the heart of God. And of course, that journey into the heart of God will never end. It goes into all eternity, into glory with God. And we will marvel and wonder and be in awe of how amazing the love of God is.
Welcome. This is such a wonderful invitation that we're issuing to all Christian believers, those that are interested in discipleship, those that are interested in really understanding how to connect with the Lord and to interact with society at this time by studying mindfulness in the marketplace. I would encourage you to join Dr. Charles Lee and the great team that he's put together in bringing this message of mindfulness and discipleship to everyday life, that you would have joy every day, that you would have an experience that will bring the scriptures alive and to understand how to make practical application of the life and teachings of Jesus every day. May you experience joy and experience his presence always. Thank you.